Hello everyone and welcome back to MegaMan 01. We just left off with the intro stage and I apologize for the long ass wait. I know it's been fucking months already. But now we're here. So let's get into it. We're going to destroy the crane, and this mission is pretty easy if you know what you're doing, but for newcomers it could be very rough. And the first thing you want to do is go all the way to the left and get an extra life. Because this game is cruel. If you die and get a game over on a specific mission, then you won't be playing that specific mission anymore, thus making it impossible for you to get a cyber elf that was in a certain mission. Not to mention that if there was a level that had a specific elemental chip, then you won't be getting that either, meaning that you will lose a third of your weakness chain, which makes this game even harder. So yeah, make sure you stock up on lives. So that's the main thing I hate about this game, which makes MegaMan 02 more superior, and ultimately making it my favorite Mega Man Zero game of all time. But we'll get to that when I let's play it. So now we're at the mini boss, and its weakness is electricity. This guy's pretty much a pushover, in that you could easily avoid his attacks, and that He only takes a couple of charged up saber attacks, and when you defeat him, he drops a cyber elf. Speaking of cyber elves, I will not be 100%ing this game. Doing that will just be time consuming. Yeah, I have no idea if I mentioned this in the last episode, but this game does have healing items that could help raise your health bar or sub-tanks, but in the form of cyber elves. But I'm only going to be using 2 of them, or maybe just 1. And some cyber elves require you to feed them, but certain cyber elves don't. So, yeah. So now we're on the train and we're being timed. And you have to make sure that the time doesn't run before you go to the boss door. If you do, well, I'm not sure what happens. I never died from this part. Anyways, yeah, we're pretty much almost at the boss, and here we are. Yeah, I forgot to mention that certain bosses have elemental abilities. Like for example, this boss has fire, and certain other bosses have like ice and electricity, like the last one from the last episode. In Mega Man Zero games, the weakness chain is that fire is weak to electricity, electricity being weak to ice, and ice being weak to fire. But certain bosses aren't affected by any elemental abilities. But certain bosses aren't affected by anything, so you might have to unequip your elemental chip. Yeah, after beating a mission in this game, you're basically rewarded with a cyber elf. Also, I apologize for skipping the dialogue, but I just don't have time to read that crap. Blah, blah, blah. Hey. So now we're going to begin another mission called Retrieve Data. That mission, or this mission rather, is actually my favorite mission in the entire game. Mainly because it just reused the intro stage at the beginning. But yeah. Not to mention the music in this level is pretty calming. So, yeah. But you gotta be careful with some enemies though, because they hit hard. So, yeah. You'll see later on, at the end of this level, I almost pretty much freaking die. Almost. But I was lucky enough to find some health pellets. So, yeah. Yeah, watch out for those rotating electrical things. They take a ton of damage. Hey. This level could be pretty annoying if you don't know what you're doing. So I just jump over those things or walk under them. As you can see, I luckily run into health pellets. And we're pretty much at the end of the level. And this guy, fucking, I believe his name is Vaha. This guy gave me a fucking hard time when I first played this game. He's weak to electricity, and he basically rolls into a fucking ball, does that aura attack, and then he makes himself into a wrecking ball. But lucky for me, I already know what I'm doing, so yeah. And now, slash. I'll see you in hell, Vaha. Hey. The Maverick names in these games are fucking out of this world. It's not as simplistic as Storm Eagle or Armadillo, as in the MegaMan X series. So now the building is going to collapse and we have to escape, but these purple doors are in our way, so now we have to slash them or shoot them or whatever. And good thing there's no enemies in this part, because that would be freaking asinine. Hey. And again, this part isn't really particularly challenging, but yeah. And now we're at the end of the level. Mission complete. Hey. There's going to be a certain mission in the next part called Find Shuttle, and that mission is fucking annoying. First of all, you have to find the soldier that was lost in the desert, and then you have to encounter this boss called Anubis Necromancer III. And then, after you find the soldier, you have to escort him back to the beginning of the level, which is fucking hard because he travels so fucking slow. And if you even got from a distance away from him, then he just stops at his tracks. It's so annoying. So don't be surprised if I just suddenly speed up in the editing process. Hey. But now we're in Occupy Factory. One of the more harder missions, mostly because of a certain part that we'll be getting in soon. But yeah. Go to this route that I'm going right now. It gives you an extra life and a cyber elf, and it's a more sneaky route. But if you go to the route that was down, then basically trigger an alarm and you're basically being timed to get to the second floor. And we're coming to the part that I was mentioning. Hey. This part, well, it's not that hard, but basically if you go collect that energy crystal, for example, or that cyber elf, then let's just say it'll be a lot hard for you to get on one of these platforms, because number one, fucking screen crunch. Lucky for me though, I made it, so yeah. And there's a cyber elf. And try to avoid these electrical attacks because they hit fucking hard. Like seriously, one more hit and I would have been dead. Hey. Make sure to not fall in that part, because otherwise you'll be doing that whole lumber part thing all over again. And here's a secret cyber elf. And now that's pretty much the end of the level. And now we're about to get another elemental chip, the fire ability. And this boss, This boss is actually pretty hard and challenging. But if you could actually tear his arm, you could actually rip. There, I can't fucking talk. Jesus. But basically, you could slash his arms off, making the boss a lot easier. And yes, this boss is also weak to electricity. Go fucking figure. And basically, since the boss arm has a different ability, for example, this one's ice, and the next one is just the default arm, and then the next one is fire type, and then the other one is just electricity. So since I beat my last mission, which is retrieve data, I completely forget a new weapon from Servo. But I will eventually get it after I beat this mission. So yeah. Basically, I get two new weapons called. I forgot what the other one was called, but I basically also get a shield. It's like a spear. The other one, and yeah, so that's the boss defeated. And now I get the fire chip. By the way, like I said in the last episode, we will be returning to certain levels, but some things will be changed. So, yeah. By the way, if you return to that level on your own, and not just from a mission, you actually get to collect a ton of energy crystals. So that's a big tip. Yeah, I completely forgot to mention that you have to upgrade and evolve certain cyber elves. Doing that, you'll need a ton of crystals. So yeah. Anyways, here's Servo. He's the one that will be getting you new weapons. So yeah. See you in part 2.